94. OHRJ, Volume. Kslai, Number 3. In Bharata's Natyasastra there is mention of 108 types of dances, which synchronize with the number of dances stated in the Saivagamas. Lord Siva is the great master of dances, Nataraja, the cosmic dancer, who danced in 108 modes, as mentioned in the Saivagamas. According to the ancient text, Amsumadbhidagama, the image of Nataraja is to be sculptured according to the Uttama Dasatala measurement, depicted as dancing by keeping the front left hand either in Gajahasta or Bhajangatrasita posture. The Apasmara Purusa should be trodden on by Lord Siva. Nataraja should be accompanied by his consort Parvati in his left side. We get description about Nataraja image in other texts like Uttara Kamikigama and Selparatna. Also, the significance of the mystic dance of Lord Siva has been elaborately discussed. Explaining the mystic nature of the dance by the noted art historian Dr. Ananda K. Kumaraswamy. 2. The earliest Nataraja image of the Upper Mahanadi Valley is found in a high relief at Vaidyanath, now lying in two pieces in the Kosalesvara temple precinct. It is of the height of around 6 feet and most probably fitted to the pillared Jagamohana in its original state. It is a 10-handed image of the Lord, depicted as dancing in the Chatura mode, by putting his left foot on the back of the Apasmara Purusa, which is lying below. He is holding a long sarpa in both his uppermost hands over his head. Most of his hands are broken. In the remaining right hand is a dambaru, while an aksamela and a kapala are in two of his intact left hands. His Vahana the Nandi bull is seen in the standing posture behind his legs. His consort Parvati in seated position and a bearded Gana are seen beside his right and left legs respectively on the pedestal. A spoked Prabhavali is behind his head. From the iconographic point of view, this image can be dated to the Pandavamsi period, i.e. late 8th or early 9th century AD. Another excellently carved 10-handed Nataraja image, also depicted as dancing in the Chatura mode, is in situ, found fitted on a stone slab in high relief in the proper north side of the interior wall of the pillared Jagamohana of the Kapilsvara temple at Sharda in Sanepa district. In this image, the Lord's major left hand is in the Gajahasta posture, while the major right hand is in Katakar mudra. In his uppermost upraised hands he is holding a long sarpa over his head. The Lord is lifting the chin of his consort Parvati in one of his lower right hands. In his remaining right hands are aksamela and dambaru, while in one of his left hands is a khatri. The Lord is Lord Siva Nataraja, the cosmic dancer. Sasankar Sekar Panda. 95. OHRJ, Volume. Kslai, Number 3. Udvalinga. He is wearing all ornaments like hara, kira, kankana, katabanda and kundala etc. Floral ruffles are seen above both his ears. A jatamukuta is adorning his head. His Vahana the Nandi bull is seen to be peeping between both his legs. A Gana in seated posture and a devotee with both his hands folded in obeisance, Anjali, in the proper right side, while a dancing Gana in the left side of the pedestal. This image is measuring around 4 feet and a half in height and 2 feet in breadth, and can be safely dated to the early 10th century AD, when the Somavamsi kings were ruling this part of Orissa. Another image of Nataraj, belonging to the early 10th century AD is found amidst loose sculptures, kept in the complex of Ramesvara group of temples at Bod town. It is a four-handed image of Nataraj dancing in the Bhujangatrasita posture, with his right leg placed on the back of the Apasmara, and his upraised left leg crossing his body. Like in the cases of sculptures of the Pandavamsi period, a thin layer of stucco has been applied over the surface of the stone, so as to enable the sculptor to make this image a flaming Prabhavali or something like matted hair is seen behind his head. The major left hand is in the Gajarhasta with the hand pointed towards the uplifted left foot of the Lord. The raised right hand is in Abhaya Mudra, and the lower right hand is in Karanahasta posture. He is wearing a scarf loosely around his shoulders, and something like flames are carved in the base portion of the back slab. The Apasmara is lying below in a prone posture with his face turned downwards. This image can be dated to the early 10th century also, i.e. the early Somavamsi period. In the Hapithral circular open-air temple of Shosarth-Yojini at Ranipajarial in Balanga district, the images of the 64 yoginis, now only 48 yogini images in situ, are surrounding the central figure of the dancing Siva. Here an 8-handed figure of Lord Siva is seen to be dancing in Ananda Tandava on a platform of the height of around 2 feet. It is a roofed platform and of the height of around 7 feet. The image of the Lord is nearly 4 feet in height. A snake is going around his waist portion. It creeps up and peeps above his left shoulder. A Jatamukuta is adorning his head and Makara Kundalas are hanging from his ears. He is Urdvalinga, penis erectus. In both of his upper hands, which are raised above his head, he is holding a long snake. The objects in his middle upper and lower right hands are Trisula, small trident, and Dambaru respectively. The Dambaru being placed on his right thigh. In his middle upper and lower left hands are Gada and Aksamela respectively. The lowest left hand is completely broken. His proper right hand is just above the navel in the Gajarhasta pose. His left leg is on the back of his Vahana the Nandi bull, whose profiled figure is carved on the pedestal. The right leg is resting upon the toe on the left shoulder of a four-handed Gainsa, who is dancing below in the same Ananda Tandava posture. In the left lower hand of Gainsa is a Ladyapatra, from which he is picking up Ladya by extending his proboscis. His lower right hand is in the same Gajarhasta pose like that of Siva, and in his upper right hand is a Parasu. 96. OHRJ, Volume Xlei, Number 3. Another sculpture of considerable importance, found at Mahigon situated at a distance of around 20 km from Ranipajarial, is a dancing figure of four-handed Siva, with Urdvalinga, penis erectus. The upper right hand of the Lord is in Abhaya Mudra, with an Aksamela hanging from it, while the upper left hand is placed on his right thigh. In the lower left hand, which is slightly raised, the Lord is holding a Kapala, while in his lower right hand there is a small Kotvanga bull Nandi. The Vahana of the Lord is crouching in a profiled posture behind the Lord and looking up at his master in Devaviksanitat Para. Here the Lord is seen wearing hara and aksamela around the body and hanging on his thigh. He is wearing round aksamela as kundala also. A crescent moon symbol is carved on the left side of the Jatamukuta, and the Lord has a pleasant smiling face. It is an unique figure of the Urdhvalinga dancing Siva and has got much similarity with that of dancing Siva enshrined in the pillared mandapa amidst the shows Arthyoginai at Ranipajarial. Another important sculpture found in the Bad Jagannath temple at Sanepa is that of the eight-handed Nataraja, found plastered and fitted to the wall on the proper left of the entrance to the present Jagamohana. It is an eight-handed figure of the Nataraja performing the cosmic dance in the Katisama mode and is Urdhvalinga. Most of his hands are broken, except the top two hands which are raised up, in which the Lord is holding a sarpa, snake, over his head. His Vahananandi is seen standing in profile just behind the right leg of the Lord on the pedestal and looking up at his master by raising its head. The right leg of the Lord is slightly raised and he is about to perform his dance. The front-faced male attendant is standing beside the left leg of Nataraja. The Lord has a tall Jatamukita above his head. This image is so heavily covered with lime that other details are mostly obliterated. It is of the height of about 30 inches and breadth of 15 inches. The iconographic feature of this sculpture can be taken to be of around 12th century AD. Now, let me discuss about the sculptures, recently discovered in this part of Orissa to study the art form. There is a village named Sandoal, situated at a distance of 5 km from Keriyar in New Pada district, where an image of four-handed dancing Siva is kept in the house of one gentleman Mr. Krishna Chandra Mishra. It is of the size of around 3 feet in height and 15 inches in breadth. Siva is holding a Kotvanga and a Sula in his upper left and right hands, while both the lower left and right hands are in Sachipada and Gajarhasta Mudras respectively. His long garment is hanging in between both legs. The Kralkant bull Nandi is carved in profile on the pedestal, but not in the conventional pose of Devaviksanitatpara. It seems to be an image of the declining phase of art, i.e. 13th to 14th century AD. Another important image found at Sasera, situated at a distance of 70 km from Bainii town, is a broken image of four-handed dancing Nataraja with Urdhvalinga, penis erectus. An image of dancing six-handed Nataraja, fitted in the front facade of the Bainiswara temple just above the Dvaralallatavimba of the Antarala connected to the Garbhagaya is of considerable importance. The Lord is holding in his uppermost left and right hands. 97. OHRJ, Volume Xlei, Number 3. Danda and Dambaru respectively, while in his middle left hand is a Kapala, skull up. Object in the lowest right hand is a Sula, while the lowest left hand is in the Gajarhasta mode. His middle right hand is in Abhaya Mudra. The Jatabara on his head is forming a Mukita. Strings of rosary beads are forming the ornaments of Nataraja. He is Urdhvalinga and dancing on the back of his Vahananandi, which is crouching in profile below his feet. A skeleton Dasi Brinjai is sitting near his left foot on the pedestal, while a front-faced and pot-bellied Gana is sitting near the right leg. 4 devotees, Saivaganas, are carved on the pedestal. This unique image of Nataraja is of the size of 2 feet in height and 12 inches in breadth. An interesting sculpture belonging to the early Chauhan period, i.e. circa 15th century AD, is found in the Suvane Meru temple compound. It is that of a dancing figure of four-handed Siva, which has been taken as his Chandrasekhara aspect, and the other one is that of a four-handed figure of Parvati seated in Yogasana. The image of dancing Siva is unique. The hair of the Lord is made like 10 thick braids of jeta, 5 falling on each shoulders. In both sides. 2 snakes are raising their heads in both sides of his head from the hair. His closed eyes give a blissful countenance to the mustached face of the Lord. His body is heavily bedecked with 5 bands of hara, Katai Sutra, Kankana, Kira, Kundala, anklets, and Sarpopavatar etc. The Lord is seen dancing on a pedestal with design of a string of beads and a double-petaled half-lotus rosette motif in the center, hanging from it. In his upper right hand the Lord is seen holding a kavara, while the object in the upper left hand is not clear. The objects in the lower left and right hands are dambaru and trisula, short trident, respectively. On the pedestal, to the proper right of the Lord, there is a profiled standing figure of his Vahananandi who is looking up at the Master in Devaviksanitat Para. To his proper left is a diminutive 4-handed figure of his consort Parvati, standing on the pedestal. The beautiful gown hanging from her waist portion up to the feet portion reminds one of the popularity of his dress in the Chauhan royal houses during the medieval period. This unique image of dancing Siva is now kept in the Natamandira of the temple. It can be taken as the figure of Nataraja, not Chandrasekhara. To the proper left of the outer gate of the Jagamohan of Radhakrishna temple situated in the Gopalji Math complex at Sambalpur town is an image of Hanuman carrying Gandhamardhana mountain, while to the proper right side is fitted a 10-handed Nataraj image seen to be flanked by Vishnu and Brahma in his right and left sides respectively. Attributes in his left hands are Dambaru, Mriga, Ankusha and Danu, while in his right hands are Sula and Parasu. In the uppermost right hand is the tail end of the Naga, whose hood is raised over his head. The Lord, standing on a Visvapadma pedestal, is seen to be holding Parasu and Mriga in his upper right and left hands respectively, while his lower right hand is in Varada Mudra. His Vahananandi bull is near his right leg, and a 4-headed figure of Brahma with folded hands is seen to be standing in the left side on the pedestal. The 4-handed 98. OHRJ, Volume Kslai, Number 3. Vishnu in the standing posture holds Sankha and Chakra in his upper left and right hands, and a Gada in his lower left hand, while his lower right hand is in Varada Mudra. He is flanked by 2-handed Sarasvati with Veena and 2-handed Lakshmi on the left and right sides. In almost all cases the Bhairava images are Urdhvalinga. Even the Nataraja images of Mahigon, Dungaripali, Padikamna, Diogon, Bainii, Sarsera, Bainii, Bad Jagannath Temple, Sanepa, and Ranipa Jarial, both of the shows are Theojanipita and the Indralath Brig Temple, are Urdhvalinga. Mahesvara in the Uma Mahesvara images of Topigon and Belkandi are also Urdhvalinga. Images with Urdhvalinga have been found as early as the Kushana period. Such images are generally found in Assam, Bengal and Orissa. This feature of Urdhvaritas is defined as the indication of the state of perpetual celibacy. 3. The story of Kamadahana is very popular in Hindu mythology, and it describes how Siva destroyed Kama, who attempted to distract the Lord who was in deep austerities. 4. Thus Siva is also known in Indian mythology for his supreme control over physical desires. Like the Ekapada Bhairava and the Saptamatakas worshipped on a huge monolithic rocky mountain near Gudar village in the Titalagar subdivision of Balanga district, an Eight-handed dancing Nataraja in Urdvalinga is carved on a huge monolithic rocky mountain called Tandaldanga, 5 situated to the west of Dungaripalli village near Budai Kumna in Nupada district. In another monolithic rock nearby a female deity standing in the earlier position is copulating with a male which is lying flat below with Urdvalinga. It is called Goddess Jani by the local tribal populace. But it seems to be the rock-cut sculpture of Goddess Daksina Kalika, who is generally depicted as having intercourse on the corpse of Siva. The iconography of this goddess corresponds to description found in the Karparadi Stotra, giving the mantrodhara of the deity. In her aspect of Daksina Kalika, she represents the beneficent grantor of nirvana. I worship Kali, the destructress of Kala and shining. 1. Who is the Bija Krim, who is Karma, who is beyond Kala, and who is Daksina Kalika. 6. This procedure of open-air worship of Nataraja along with the Matakas and Yoginis is suggestive of these pittas possibly used by the Kapalakas for sexo-yogic practices. Learned scholar Dr. H.C. Das has rightly put that the Hypaethral 64 Yogini temple is the expression of intense form of Tantricism, where Nataraja, the central figure, is encircled by terrifying images of 64 yoginis. 7. The image of Nataraja is carved in the West Karnika niche on the northern side of the brick-built Indralath temple at Ranipajarial, in which the major right hand of the Lord is depicted as crossing the body in the Gajarhasta mode, while in the upraised right hand is a short trident. It is an image where the Lord is Urdvalinga. A four-handed dancing Siva is also depicted as Dvarapala in the proper right base portion of the doorjam to the Garbhagay of the Devalesvara temple at Mohanjayari in Kalahandi district. Another 4. 99. OHRJ, Volume Kslai, Number 3. Handed Nataraja image is carved in the Antarala of the Padmasini temple at Pujaraipalli in Jharsuguda district. The four-handed Nataraja images can be safely dated to the Pandavamsi period. A beautifully carved eight-handed dancing Nataraja image has been shifted from the Siva temple ruins of Dahilai in Bod district by the Sambalpur University Museum Authority. Instead of Ekapada Bhairava or Virabhadra, a figure of Vinodhara Siva in the dancing posture is carved in the first carved niche of the rock-cut Saptamataka panel on a huge monolithic rocky elevation, in a paddy field to the north of the Gudar village, situated at a distance of 10 km away from Titalagar town. All these Nataraja images of the upper Mahanadi valley testify to the fact that in between 7th to 8th and 11-12th century AD the Nataraja cult was extremely popular in the upper Mahanadi valley of Orissa. References 1. Rao, T.A. Gopinatha, Elements of Hindu Iconography, Volume 2, Part I, Indological Book House, Varanasi. 1971, 2nd edition, pp. 223-231 ff. 2 Siddhanta Dipika, Volume 13, July 1912. 3 Govindarajan, Hema, The Nataraja Image from Azenpat, article published in Dimensions of Indian Art. Pupul-Jayaka 70, Volume I, ed. by Loksh Chandra and Yotindra Nath, Agam Kala Prakashan, Delhi. 1986, p. 145. 4 Rao, T.A. Gopinatha, Elements of Hindu Iconography, Volume I, Part I, pp. 147-149 ff. 5 Singhdeo, Chittamitra Prasad, Tantric Sculptures in Nupada District, Orissa, The Orissa Historical Research Journal, Volume XLII, Numbers 1-4, 1998, p.102. 6 Avalon, Arthur, Hymn to Kali. Karparadi Stotra, Commentary by Vimalananda Swami, Madras, 1965. pp.49-69. 7 Das, H.C., Tantric Saivism in Orissa, article published in An Interdisciplinary Approach to Saivism ed. by Dr. K.C. Mishra and R.K. Mishra, Pub, Institute of Orissan Culture, Bhubaneswar, Orissa, p.134. Joint Director cum Deputy Secretary to the Government. Information and Public Relations Department. Government of Orissa. Bhubaneswar. 100. OHRJ, Volume. Kslai, Number 3. Nataraj, Gyudan Nataraj, Tandal Dornga Nataraj, Vaidyanath. Nataraj, Sharda. Nataraj, Diogon, Baini. Nataraj, Badjaganath. Temple, Sanepa. Nataraj, Indralath Temple Nataraj, Mahigon. Nataraj, Sarsera, Baini, Nataraj, Sundahul Nataraj, Gopalji Math. Sambalpa. Nataraj, Suvane Meru. Temple, Sanepa.